I watch as a group of Aetherians take turns pitching coins at a tiny basket on the wall.
I guess I can...
Room for another?
You gain 12 XP. Okay.
Despite a flicker of wariness, my arrival with Cress must have bought me enough goodwill. I get calls for good luck as I line up my shot. Like a bolt from Zeus, my coin hits the basket dead on. I get a clap on the shoulder and a hat's worth of winnings.
Okay. Oh, $20, that it. Hey everybody, Old Man Alchemist back with another raw and wiggling episode in our playthrough of Aether and Iron, the full release. Okay, so last time we did the graveyard shift. We broke some folk out of prison, and I need to go ahead and do some upgrades for them. Did I not choose this? I guess I didn't. Okay, so we got bootleg turn now. I still want to get to this guy. I thought I was almost there. That seems kind of strange. Alright, and now her. Okay, so now she can put heat on people, which is a very good thing. So, and what do we have? Probably the tomb. Yeah, okay. So that's that place that's just a horrible... nobody wants to go to.
This is amazing.
We've had a few decades to figure it out.
Long embraces, teary faces, and inside jokes coax tired laughter out of the Aetherians as they reunite with their friends and families. I can't remember the last time I talked to my folks like that. Not since Zio died. The tomb had aged them, but the promise of safety rolled back the years, returning them and their loved ones to better times. You all right?
I'm better off than them. They've escaped the tomb, but they're still prisoners. We'll have to beg another Baron to take their contracts, and then this whole thing starts over.
You got them out, Cress. Everyone got to walk away. Sometimes that's the best outcome.
It shouldn't be.
Cress?
Hey, is Owen settling in okay?
Yes, thanks to you. He'll be fine. We all will. But, I'm actually here to tell you Iron Hand's looking for you.
The Aetherians around us stare sympathetically. Some...
Gia, I have to deal with this. If I'm lucky, it won't take long. Stay here.
Okay, now let's see what we have in our inventory. This actually has a jump feature, so I'd like to put this, I think, in my car. And here's a garage.
Cold, barren walls, rich smell of oil, and familiar clank of tools quickly announce this building's purpose. A garage like this is a smuggler's best friend. Nondescript, affordable, and discreet.
Okay. I actually have a heavy van. What is this? That's a Gatling gun. So it only, it takes tons of armor. and 2 heavy weapons. Yeah. I don't know if Tess can drive that, but at some point we're probably going to want that. But I think we're going to want this. And that gives us a little something to do with it. Uh-oh, I think I'm overweight. Yeah, I am. Damn it. What is the weight on this thing? Its weight is +1. Oh, this doesn't have a weight. That kind of sucks. I'd have to get rid of this to have the jumping repulsor, but I don't want to get rid of that. What I'd really like is the, this is a +2. Wow. Alright.
Aethaniers start young. They learn to take your car apart long before they develop their whitewashed eyes.
What else did I don't know. There's no red circle by anybody. We've been there. We looked at them. I don't think I want to play anything.
A pitter-patter of coins clink across the metallic streets. I watch as a group of Aethaniers take turns pitching coins at a tiny basket on the wall.
I guess I can...
Room for another?
You gain 12 XP. Okay.
Despite a flicker of wariness, my arrival with Cress must have bought me enough goodwill. I get calls for good luck as I line up my shot. Like a bolt from Zeus, my coin hits the basket dead on. I get a clap on the shoulder and a hat's worth of winnings.
Okay. Oh, $20 added to key items. Nice. It's always good to have a little bit of coin. Of course, I don't see where it's... Oh, maybe in pockets? Yeah, right there. Okay. Let's see. I don't think they're going to want to play anymore.
Negotiations were making progress. Ah, you must be Giovanna. Gia, I'm told you prefer. Sam Lowe, president of the Undercity League.
The so-called rats might get looked down on, but even the barons had to pretend to play nice with the Undercity League. Samuel Ironhand Lowe represented every Aethanier in New York.
I have to thank you. You kept our Cressa alive today.
He sticks out his hand to shake. A genuine smile follows. The man's warm, inviting. A memory of Pop showing us our new sweaters on Christmas morning floats up from the recess of my mind.
So what are you doing in the Undercity?
What's the Undercity League doing in White Street?
Negotiation. White Street's been so busy with their war that they've neglected their duties. Eli is still obligated to provide every basic necessity to his Aether engineers.
Your negotiations have gone nowhere, Iron Hand. The shortages, the imprisonments, the Terriers having free reign over contracts. You're begging for scraps.
Don't downplay our progress now. More food, medicine, and parts. Even some years shaved off contracts. Negotiations might not be as flashy as a prison break, but they make a difference.
You didn't see them in the tomb. They couldn't wait.
And now how many more will be rounded up, locked away? How many Terriers will be down here intruding in your lives, looking for those you freed, adding more years to contracts? Eli is not made of stone. Even he's capable of compassion. He could have been talked into seeing his judgment was too hasty. Now he'll harden himself.
You give him too much credit.
He will regard every one of us as a potential accomplice.
He's never gonna change his mind, no matter how much ass you kiss. He was stringing you along. You're still just a rat. We're all just rats.
I am certain your friend here, even in her line of work, is familiar with making compromises with the Barons in order to succeed.
Alright, look, dude, something's wrong with your brain. Because you just got too much brown stuff on your nose. It's addled your brain.
A Baron will try to pull one on you every chance they get. It's in their nature. We don't do ourselves any favors playing by rules they just laugh at.
I have this argument with someone regularly. I'll tell you what I tell him. You can't make a car fly with a cracked engine.
I've got a roll of tape that says otherwise. But I know, life's not a car, even if it'd be easier if it worked like one.
But what's done is done. Cress, I may not agree with your methods, but thank you. Thank you for helping them escape. I will take care of the rest.
What are you going to do? Eli's probably heard about the prison break by now. He's probably got patrols up and down the barony looking for them.
What I do best, negotiate. Our newly liberated friends will need new homes, quickly. I know barons who will buy the contracts. People who are not unreasonable. But Cress, next time remember, there is always a risk when you charge at the Lion's Head.
With that, the venerable Iron Hand leaves us, sharing friendly smiles and kind words with those he passes. Cress, on the other hand, goes slack.
Look at them. They believe every word of it. That this time the negotiations will work. They shouldn't have that hope.
You all right, Cress? That didn't seem like the first time you've gotten a talking to.
Iron Hand's not a bad guy. Honestly, he overworks himself, trying to keep the rest of us afloat. I understand it, but he makes it hard to argue back.
The more I look at Cress, the more I see the sway on her feet, the way she keeps massaging around her prosthetic limb. Either the job or the chat with Iron Hand was catching up to her. Ready to head back?
Not yet. I want to stop off at the Department of Contracts.
All right, Alex and Maria, I think, are the last folk to talk to. Unless there's something... No, there's nothing over there.
I hear Alexander and Maria's voices drift over from the shop. Despite their hushed tones, it's not hard to guess the source of their concern.
Not good. They need food, bandages, water, but we're stretched so thin as it is.
It can't be helped. They're family. We'll find ways to survive. It's what we do.
I never wanted to bring our child into a world like this. I didn't want them to just survive. I wanted more. Better than what we have.
Lexi, we'll get through this. We're going to make a better world together. For all three of us. We still have options. Don't give up hope yet.
Alexander rests his head on his wife's shoulder. They're lost in a few moments of peace. Just the three of them. Whether it's the quiet or the exhaustion, there's no anger when my presence intrudes.
Topsider, you pulled through.
Thank you, truly. When we lost them, we almost... You don't know how many spirits you've lifted. Thank you.
Cress was the one running the show. I just did what she asked.
She's been a good friend to the community ever since Eli's lost purge. I hope we can return the favor one day.
Maria lets out a yawn deep enough to betray several sleepless nights. You folks look like you could use some rest.
Rest? Who has time for rest? The terriers say double shifts will end when the war ends. It's been this way for years.
It didn't used to be this bad, even for White Street. But after the bombing at Santa Anita, the priorities changed.
Eli took off the sheepskin, that's what changed. He was looking for an excuse to go back to war and dragged us with him.
So what happened with the bombings?
White Street's always been a powder keg. Can't imagine it any different down here.
You think terriers, contracts, and long hours are new to us? We're taught the terms from birth. But it used to be livable here. Clean water, islands that didn't flip barons every few months. We took care of ourselves.
Even topsiders were friendlier. There was this one older lady, owned a pool. Sometimes she'd let Lexi and I go at night.
Maria?
And swim. We could keep the lights off and no one knew we were there. She died not too long ago.
The new owner tried to report us first time we showed up. It doesn't matter, the space was requisitioned for military purposes sometime later. Everything for the war effort.
So what was this about making a better world?
I overheard you talking. Something about making a better world? That made ripples in whatever bubble of peace they had. A subtle glance, a flash of worry, and silent debate passes between the two of them before the tension drains.
You see how we live? Our children shouldn't know how to use a wrench before they know how to walk. I want to teach our child more than taking apart generators. How to make music, how to swim, how to wind skip.
Do you remember when you taught Kelly's boy how to skip stones? You two stayed up all night.
That boy, clumsy but determined. Couldn't get more than 2 bounces no matter what I taught him.
Here, take these.
I reach into my pocket and pick out a few flat stones. I make sure there's eye-catching patterns and colors, the kind I would have snapped up as a kid. Here, blue ones from the burrows. Could probably spin a story off that.
Skipping stones. You keep these on hand?
I like to have them handy, just in case. Alexander smiles softly, holding my gaze as he pockets the stones like he's handling a wrapped parcel.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. What can she... What is she, oh, she just... Coupe, sedan, truck, wagon, van, flatbed. Okay. Cress can drive a flatbed also, and a van. I'd really like to get a sedan or a wagon. Something that's a little bit bigger. But I think I have a... No, I have a sedan right now. Damn. So the sedan's not big enough for me. A coupe definitely isn't then. I guess I need a wagon. We do have a truck. Tess is driving a flatbed. I mean, Cress is driving a flatbed. We have some kind of thought there was a way to see what vehicles we have. Nope. Unless it's... Yeah, that's just the ones we're in. Alright, so we have to go back. I mean, look at that. That's a flamethrower. That's undercarriage. But that's a +3 weight. I can't use this in my thing. What's her face would be able to use that? Crestwood. I'm also thinking about I might put this in Cress's car. But I would really like to get this or that. This would be nice to get this grenade launcher. And, but let's see. What do we have up here? We got a van. Okay. Oh, that's in Cress's car. Alright, so I don't want to take that off. So she can jump over stuff now. She needs some armor. And, which direction is this? This is back. And this is front. I don't think I have enough. Her flatbread. I don't have anything for that. These are auxiliary slots. How do I sign someone? Okay. Okay, here it is. Okay, so what I would like is to at least get that on there. And we got Mr. Gatling. plenty of armor slots. We don't have stuff for armor right now. I guess we're gonna get that. But what I really want is the um 70 some odd bucks for the and I only have 33. I need like over 40 yucks for that. I might have to is there anything that I can sell? Well, this sell price is 40. Puts me at 73. Yeah. Don't I have a stash thing here? Oh, look at this. Truck heavy. Well, I wish they gave you more information about what trucks have very high health and extra storage with lower AP and can be fitted with heavy weapons that deal area damage, ideal for taking on groups of enemies. Wagons have medium health and storage with decent AP and can be fitted with auxiliary parts, undercarriage weapons, and light weapons. Yeah, I definitely want to, well, let's see if we can get enough to, I might have to go. Alright. Can we try and...
The game of pitch penny's still going, filling the hat with a fresh pool.
Hey. I need some koi, man.
I throw a hard curveball. The coin skitters up the wall and flips, off the iron wall, off the brim, and into the waiting basket.
There you go, 53. Now, we should... Wait a second. Maybe I don't have to sell anything. Maybe, just maybe, I can earn a little bit more money. You know? I'd like another 40 yucks, please.
The rain of coins slows. The group thins. But one of the stragglers waves me over, inviting me for one final game.
I don't think I'm going to get any more games out of this. Oh, well.
Practice makes perfect. I feel the exact point to throw, the exact force I need, but a speck of dust catches my nose.
Okay, that it said you ain't making no more money there. Oh, Department of Contracts.
Cress walks me through a door that smells of old paper and cooling coffee, and I double take. Above packed shelves and harried archivists, I see a sky of stained glass and stars made up of winking Aether light. From the way Cress basks under its light, I doubt we're here to thumb through records. Madonna. What's that for?
stargazing. Come on, take a load off. The light's hitting the glass just right today.
All right, there is a ton of stuff in here. We got 73 yucks, man. I'm saying, like, yes. All right, that's cress. Oh, look at that. Okay. Let's see.
This shelf has a few books on the history of White Street. I noticed right away that the majority of them look brand new, as if they've never been read or even handled. I guess these aren't too popular.
All right, let's get some information, guys. Toil and Trouble.
Toil and Trouble, an examination of the Water Waste War. There was no doubt after White Street's victory of attrition over the barons of Smucker and Gainsford that the struggle was lost. Tillinghast had outmaneuvered the politicking of the lesser barons with intimidation and a projection of force. With the conflict resulting in a decisive stake in the city's water futures, the peace-loving General Tillinghast could, at long last, lay down his sword and enjoy the peace his vigilance had bought. Peace-loving? Right. And I'm Kaiser Wilhelm.
Clean Street Caesar.
Clean Street Caesar, the early career of Eli Tillinghast. Though criticized by his peers for his controversial choices, Tillinghast doubled down on his shock and dread campaign, utilizing his sanitation brigade as a rifle butt, smashing pretenders to the throne of his burgeoning domain. Under his guidance, the Whitecaps moved from tidying the streets to handing out citations for unclean behavior, to random search and seizures, to enforcing curfews, eventually resulting in a de facto state of martial law. I closed the heavy tome, 500 pages of raw propaganda that looked like it hadn't seen a lot of attention. I wasn't expecting a secret shelf just out of sight.
Here's some memoirs.
I pick up the dense collection of Tillinghast's memoirs and notice something curious built just behind the series of volumes. I gather an armful of the self-serving waste of pulp on the luminaries of White Street and deposit them where they belong, on the floor, out of sight, hopefully for all time. Dry as anything. Time to look elsewhere.
All right, well, we did that. Let's do this guy.
I spy a collection of volumes, most of them hand-bound in leather or fabric. Huh. Looks like they were all written by Aetherians. Each spine features a tiny brand corresponding to the free home where they were written.
Conover Place.
Conover Place, a nice place to lurk. When my folks got our contracts moved here from Pendleton Rocks, we would be treated nice, humane-like even. More money to go around, they'd tell my sister and me. The Terriers aren't as strict, as if that meant anything. We won't be allowed topside, though. Not that they could tell without our eyes in. 1932. This one hasn't aged well. Conover Place burned a year after this was published. Most of the Aetherians dead, sealed in an iron coffin.
The Bones of Metropolis.
The Bones of Metropolis. My father worked the steam vents to his dying day. Son, he gasped, while the sawbone struggled to replace the fluids his burns had leached from his parboiled body. This ain't no life for man or woman. But what else is there, Pop? I cried, pounding on the wall with work-rough hands. What else is there? Lots of talk about weight-to-energy ratios and the stabilization of Aether when they describe how neighborhoods are maintained.
The Ghost in the Pipes.
The Ghosts in the Pipes, a study of location-based psychoses in the Undercity. Unable to find a common thread other than rough location, Dr. Fisher launched an in-depth investigation into why the men and women within the Racine Undercity were exhibiting a higher-than-normal rate of aberrant behaviors than other Aetherian free homes within the lowers. After 18 weeks, Fisher concluded that the chronic insomnia and resultant anxieties were directly tied to the sound of waste fumes vacated through improperly repaired pipes running through the maintenance tunnels, leaving the inhabitants surrounded by a constant sound resembling unending, unintelligible wailing, called the ghosts in the pipes by the locals.
Hmm.
Dr. Fisher himself was not immune to the consequences of this phenomenon, and was remanded to a psychiatric institution after the study's conclusion.
Oh my.
This stuff goes on forever.
Alright, so we did the two top ones. You know, after you've done something, they should knock it out or...
My eyes skim a series of titles to do with Aetherineers and Aether theory. Behind me, I hear Nellie gasp in anticipation, delight, recognition.
Strasbourg.
Strasbourg, King Stratosphere. Despite his personal peccadillos and suspected anti-American leanings, the scientific advances of Arnold Strasbourg, chiefly known for his advancement of Aether propulsion and suspension at high altitudes, ironically widened the gap of wealth inequality even further in favor of the Uppers baronies despite their brilliance. I'm sure Strasbourg himself would have something to say to this author, if he hadn't disappeared into thin air.
Origins of Aether.
The origins of Aether. Though the early successful advances brought about by the discovery and development of Aether for purposes of construction were reasonably well documented, the explosive failures of its early experimentation, most notably the fatal Dews Reservoirs incident in which 38 technicians lost their lives, are less so. Due to the confluence of shared credit as well as blame, it is difficult to pin down who is most responsible for these first developments, as no less than 6 scientific collectives each claimed credit for those breakthroughs, while trying to avoid blame for any shortcoming. Same as it ever was. If you can't prove something is yours, muddy the waters enough for a partial payday.
All the colors of the rainbow.
All the colors of the rainbow. Theories regarding a so-called Aether spectrum. While the vast majority of Aether scientists agree that theoretical colored Aethers are nothing more than a load of bunk dreamed up by weapons developers, a small number of researchers theorize that such weapons could be developed as soon as 30 years from now. Or, as it turns out, a whole lot sooner. No understanding of brevity. San Francisco doesn't look that far away. Too bad the 2,000 miles in between is reserved for farmers or raiders. Looks like a pretty wide selection of modern history on this shelf. Funny, I never thought of Aetherineers as studious types.
Boots on the ground.
Yet the Crusades' origins were born from a perspective of well-meaning naivete, a concerted initiative from those barons in the uppers seeking to bring charity aid to those properties they had left behind during their upward climb. For this reason, some accounts depict the Crusades as necessary growing pains for the burgeoning social strata. Whitewashing. It's not just for picket fences.
Stealing hearts and bases.
Stealing hearts and bases. The rise of the 35 New York bandits. A true David and Goliath story in our modern time. Nobody could have predicted the meteoric rise of the scrappy bandits during the 1935 season after a dismal showing in the previous year. The uppers-owned New York Gothams had the funding and the star players, but they lacked that crucial ingredient that pushed the bandits over the edge. Heart. I remember every play. That was one hell of a series.
Trespassers of Nature.
Trespasser of Nature. How New York beat the hurricane. And while Hurricane Bedford ravaged the eastern seaboard without mercy or compunction, flattening all in its path with countless casualties, as well as incurring millions in property damage, the people of the uppers simply turned up their nose and threw money at the problem, deciding once and for all that the problems of Earth were only for the earthbound. While seawater devastated and flooded the landlocked masses below, citizens of both the lowers and uppers were more or less insulated from the ravages of the weather phenomenon, passing harmlessly beneath the skybound colonies. Maybe the lowers weren't hit directly, but I saw lines for clean water circling the block, a gap-toothed child with a starvation-distended belly, men knifing each other in an alley for a bag of coal. The uppers had all they needed, and they did not want to share. That's about enough of that. Behind that propaganda piece about the general, there's a hidden shelf concealed in the wall. It's full of trashy glam mags about movie actors. In other words, pure bourgeois.
Star Scoop.
Star Scoop, February 1936. All the sun's rays. A day in the life of Apollo Diamond. And wowza, is that Apollo with Mae West on his arm? For shame, Sonny. She's old enough to be your auntie.
A magazine? What is this twaddle doing in a library, for heaven's sake?
Star Scope, May 1937.
Star Scoop, May 1937. Apollo, despite that sharp wardrobe and his prep school palaver, was surprisingly modest when asked about his thoughts on the Big Apple. Coming to the city was a big shock, but in no time, the people of New York accepted me as a genuine Knickerbocker. New York fans are the best fans in the world.
Yet another article on that actor?
Star Scoop.
Star Scoop, July 1936. His life among the heavens. A deep dive on Apollo Diamond. Apollo's a good boy, a real mensch. Apollo's first agent, Morris Galecki, recounted fondly from his office in the lowers. Looking at him now, you'd never know he was once a little pisher from the neighborhood. Apollo Diamond? A local? Is that so? Didn't that other article say he was from out of town?
Hey, college girl, we've got more important things to do than think about some pretty boy movie star. Just drop it, okay?
Too much drama for me. Press claims a spot like it's a regular perch at a bar. I follow her lead. Never thought I'd be stargazing indoors.
Yeah, well, you get used to doing most things indoors. When terriers and barons keep hammering you back down, they think if they keep the sky away, you stop looking up. So, we brought the sky to us.
What about this stained glass?
Eli destroyed every theater and speakeasy years ago. I remember when the last vaudeville theater went up in flames. Surprised he left all this.
You think a baron cares about what happens down here? This place's been around long before Eli set up his sanitation brigade.
How long's that?
1880s, sometime after Holdstone.
It was a memory burned into the minds of every New Yorker. An Aether photographed as they jumped from an island on fire. The island sank, thousands died. Fleeing rats were blamed. The rest is history.
It reminds me of the night of Zio.
Reminds me of nights on the roof with Zio.
You could see stars in the burrows?
No, this was later. I just found this little apartment. Remember, what's his name? The Baron who only wore red? He called himself something.
Mr. Love ran the gentleman's quarter. That barony's out south now, I think.
Ugh, slimy bastard. So, I just moved in. Zio comes by, brings a 30-year-old bottle of whiskey from who knows where. Talks about that time he got stranded in the Russian wilderness running guns in the Great War.
I like that story.
He always said the stars brought him home.
You really think he outran a bear at the end?
I don't know.
Did it matter? Every time he came home, his stories make comic books feel like reading a technical manual. Like I was out in the world with him. Cress stares upward into the faux night sky, her pale eyes darting from star to star.
I miss his stories about the constellations. He knew them all.
So where'd you get this interest in constellations?
You're into the constellations?
There's a lot about me you don't know. My parents taught me. We used to have an undersky like this on my old island, built by a hobby astronomer, obsessed with capturing every constellation. Ursa, Canis, Calliope. Those were my bedtime stories. Argo was my favorite, a ship built perfectly to explore the whole world. A machine that never failed.
She rubs her arm where rat engineering bonds iron with flesh. Her eyes are fixed on the lights above. So, this prison break. This the type of work you do when you're not at the garage?
Sometimes it can be all roadside repairs and repulsor changes.
And that sponsor?
I can't tell you that, Gia. Not yet.
Well, we're not going to try that.
I've seen skyscrapers with more bend than Cress. I let the question lie for now. Cress reaches over and grabs my arm.
Watch. Here it comes.
Okay.
It's always beautiful. Every time. There's real hope out there, Gia. There are people out there who are changing things, fighting back against the Barons. This was only a small part.
Fighting Barons will get you shot, Cress. There's enough tragedies in the lowers to fill stacks of tawdry magazines. They usually end with, "They died doing the right thing."
You said it yourself. You don't win against the Barons by playing by the rules. Hey, Gia. Thanks. I know you're really just looking to polish your rep, but you did good today.
Look, you've done me a lot of favors lately. With the past year, with my car, and with Zio. This was the least I could do.
Don't get mushy on me. Anyway, we should get back.
All right. Back to Archstad. Okay, we should be able to purchase something. And, let's sell that. And now we can get grenade launcher, heavy weapon. Okay. And now let's get prisoner transport. Okay, yeah. Wow, this is noticeable. The heat is noticeable. Well, I mean, we want something that's that's gonna last. We're gonna see what happens. It is time. What is this? This is coming on to an hour. So what have we been doing? We had done graveyard shift, but that's not what we were doing. So Department of Contracts. I guess that's what we're going to call this one, is Department of Contracts. And when we come back, we got a whole bunch of history, man. I mean, that was necessary to fill a backstory and all that stuff. History of the Baron, the place, what's going on. And I kind of enjoyed that, so it's always good to have that stuff. But for now, we're going to end this one. And what are we calling that? Department of Contracts. Okay. We're going to end this one here. Hey guys, if you've been enjoying our playthrough and want to stay abreast of everything we're doing on the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Do me a great favor, crush that like button also, and finally, leave me some comments. Let me know what you're playing, what you're looking forward to, or just what's going on with you. Until next time, this is Old Man Alchemist saying stay cool and peace.